4. Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. Do you need me to keep going? Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Microphone check. 1, 2. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Just a little bit more, is that what you said? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost there. Almost there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Hello, hello, hello. Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. Hello, hello. 1, 2. Check, check. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check, check. 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, check. 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A, B, C. Check, check. 1, 2. Hello, hello. Check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check, check. 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. Check, check. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Check, check. 18, 19. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hello, hello. Check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check. Hello, hello. B, C, D, A, D, R, S, T, Q, I, P, T, L, O. Check. 1, 2. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Welcome. Hello, hello. Check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 25, 28, 29, 30. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Hello, hello, check, check. Hello, hello, check, check. Hello, hello, check, check. 1, 2, check, check. Hello, hello, check, check. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, check. Hello, hello, check, check. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, hello, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, check, check. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Hello. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I, H. Check. 1, 2. Feed. Check. 1, 2. Feed. Check. 1, 2. Feed. Check. 1, 2. Feed check, 1, 2. Feed check, 1, 2. Feed check, 1, 2. Feed check, 1, 1. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 2, 2, 2, check, check, 1. Hello, hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye, hello. Thank you. Hey, Rebecca, you want to come up here and do it? You want to take my place? No? Are you sure? Isn't this what you do? Talk for people? Check, 1, 2. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. That was well done. Check you. Check. Thank you. Thank you. Check, 1, 2. Check, check. 3, 4. Check. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3. Check 4. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Check. 1, 2. Check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check. Hello. Check, check. 1, 2. Feed, check. Feed, check. Check, check. Feed, check. 1, 2. Feed, check. 3, 4. Check, check. Feed, check. 1, 2. 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2. 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2. Feed, check. 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2. 3, 4. Check. Microphone. 1, 2. 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2. 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2. 3, 4. Hello. Hello. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, check. 1, 8, 9. Check. 1, 2. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need a tone generator. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Check, check. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check, check. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Check, check. Hello, feed check. Can you hear me? Check, check. Hello, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Check, check. 1, 2. Check. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Check. Hello, hello, hello. Feed check. Feed check. Hello. Feed check. Feed check. Hello. Feed check. Hello, hello. Feed check. Hello, hello. Feed check. Check, check. Feed check. Hello. Feed check. Hello. Feed check. Hello, hello. Feed check. Hello, hello. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15. DBA. DB9. DB10. DB11. DB12. F440. F420. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Enjoy. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your patience as we try to take care of some of our technical difficulties. I'm Linda Gonzalez Hensgen, Vice President of Student Services, and I have the pleasure of welcoming all of you here to our Trans Mountain campus and to all of those out in TV land throughout the district, and wishing everybody a great start of 2015-16. So can I have everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Oh, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. In education, we are fortunate that we get to start fresh each fall with new energy and enthusiasm from our students, faculty, and staff. This year is no exception, with an enrollment of nearly 29,000 students as of today, and still moving. And so we look forward to a productive and a successful year. So as an employee, I truly appreciate the fact that our administration recognizes the importance of offering professional development days for all of our faculty and staff, and I hope that everyone had an opportunity to have training, have meetings, do some networking with your colleagues. So as we conclude this day, we have two final sessions. And the first one will be a presentation by Ms. Josette Shaughnessy, who's our Interim Vice President for Administration and Financial Services. Josette?
Thank you very much, Linda. Certainly appreciate that introduction. Good afternoon. I'm not used to being in a limelight like this, so I will not start any songs or anything like this. I'm more comfortable talking about numbers, as Dr. Serrata might know. But certainly it is my pleasure to welcome you all and thank you for the invitation here at the Trans Mountain campus, and my pleasure to address you all at all the campuses at the Administrative Service Center where most of my staff is. When Dr. Serrata asked me to highlight some of the initiatives that fall under administration and financial operation, I had to think about how I could focus on those initiatives that relate so much to student success. So my presentation is going to actually focus on what we see the pillars of student success here at El Paso Community College. So all of us obviously have a part in supporting student success. And so the three pillars that I want to talk to you about today include financial stability, dedicated faculty and staff, and adaptive facilities. Now, financial stability obviously is a part of every organization's success. It is, and at EPCC it's no exception. So it is an important part of what we do in education, and without financial stability, we cannot be reaccredited, we cannot be affirmed, and SAC's Commission on Colleges is very clear on that. As you know, core requirement and comprehensive standards do address how do we demonstrate financial stabilities. Our financial stability is also evaluated by the bond rating agencies. And when they when they review our bond rating on a biannual basis or during the issuance of bonds, they look at our financial statements, they look at our stable, sound financial base, they look at our management, how stable management is, they look at various financial ratios, and based on that information, they can rate our bonds, and that also allows us, the higher the bond rating, the more stable our institution is, the lower cost of borrowing money. So very important for both SACs and bond rating agencies. Our financial stability is also reported in our annual financial report. And that is in the form of financial statements where, again, we do express our financial stability by reporting our revenues and expenses and various other report about internal control. And I'll talk about our audits in a little while. So, no, I don't want to bore you with too many numbers, but when we look at who we are by the numbers, I'm a financial person, so you have to expect that this presentation is going to include some numbers. So, but how do we describe our financial stability by the numbers? Well, first and foremost, we have 7 board trustees who are elected for a 6-year term, and they are ultimately responsible for the financial stability of this institution. They're also accountable to their constituents, and so it is incumbent upon them to make sure that we're financially stable. Who else ensures our financial stability? Close to 29,000 students. As Linda mentioned, at the time of this presentation, I had numbers as of September the 3rd, but I'm certainly glad to hear that we're close to 29,000 students. 5,000 CE students in average per semester. We also have over 3,000 employees, full-time and part-time. And we have an operating budget of $132.3 million that's been recently adopted by the Board of Trustees. Whenever we develop our budget for the next fiscal year, we always have student success in mind. This has been the direction of our president, Dr. Serrata, of our Board of Trustees, and in the past, I think community colleges have been emphasizing on enrollment. Now we emphasize not only on enrollment for financial stability, but also we want to make sure that our students are graduating or transferring. So whenever we put the budget together, we always have that in mind. It is always a question from our Board of Trustees. Have you considered financial success initiatives in your budget, in developing your budget? And the answer better be no, better be yes, I'm sorry. Better be yes. Just testing to make sure you are listening. So really quickly, some of you may not know how our budget is funded. And so very quickly, projected revenue for that support $132.3 million budget, starting with property taxes, which is currently our major source of revenue, at $52.8 million. And that represents 39% of our total revenue sources, followed by tuition and fees at $44.9 million, or 33% of our budget, and in state appropriation at $32.1 million. Some years ago, like over 10 years ago, state funding was actually the primary source of revenue. And what has happened over the years is that state funding has dwindled. So it's been incumbent upon community colleges in Texas to find a way to generate more revenue. And unfortunately, that had to be passed on to our taxpayers and students. So we try to achieve that balance. I can tell you that our rating agencies are extremely complimentary of El Paso Community College for actually being able to generate a diverse revenue sources. Maybe some of you do not know, but our property tax base in El Paso, in a county of El Paso, which generates the $52.8 million, is $39.3 billion. And our current tax rate, for some of you who do not know, is at 12.8122 cents per $100 valuation. And we do have a proposed tax rate based on the board's intention to raise property taxes by 4%, very modest 4% in order to fund the budget. And I will explain in a minute why we've had to do that for the next biennium. Now, this proposed tax rate, which represents a 4% of our effective tax rate, I'll be testing you in just a little while, 13.3811 cents per $100 valuation, which means that if you own a home of $125,000, which is a little bit above the average value for a homeowner here in El Paso, we're talking about $167.26, or an increase of $7.11 for the entire tax year of 2015. Now, it is also important to note that we are one of the lowest tax rate, or we're actually the lowest tax rate in the major taxing entities here in El Paso. And when you look at a tax bill, understand that that represents about 4% of the total tax bill approximately 4%, depending on which school district that you reside in, but that's about 4% in terms of the total tax bill. So El Paso Community College is actually very affordable for our taxpayers. Continue with the numbers. Tuition, very important to our financial stability. $44.9 million is generated from student enrollment by both credit and continuing education students. That also includes our workforce students. Keep in mind that the current tuition rate is $1,188 as of fall 2015. We did have an increase starting the fall. And that's for a resident student taking 12 credit hours. That represents about 40% of the tuition that is charged by public universities in the region. Most affordable and best value for any student who comes to El Paso Community College, one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. So again, most affordable and best value. Now, for those of you who have students that are on financial aid, you may want to remind them that $5,775 is going to be the maximum annual Pell Award in 2016, and which is a slight increase over this current year. But just imagine that a student that is taking 12 credit hours has quite a bit of money left once now, the $5,775, you divide that by 2, it's still enough to help the students to purchase their books and help them with some educational expenses. $55 million in Pell disbursement in 2015. We have one of the largest Pell Grant program in the state. So talking about state funding. So state funding, this 84th legislature was not very generous for community colleges. I'm sure you already heard that throughout the year. But when the legislative session concluded, El Paso Community College were actually reducing funding as compared to this past biennium, which obviously creates a lot of financial pressure for all community colleges in Texas. And this is in spite of rising enrollment over the last several years. So the $64.25 million that was appropriated to El Paso Community College over a 2-year period. So to fund our next year's budget, you divide that by 2, $32.1 million per year of the biennium. And that funding was based on contact hours and student success points. Student success points have become an integral part of our funding, our formula funding. And so therefore it's very incumbent upon us to continue those initiatives so that we continue getting that funding. Now, the decrease in funding over this past biennium was $3.29 million, or $1.6 million per year of the biennium. And so when we look at reimbursement rate for the last several years, now we're at 26.76% as compared to 82.16% back in 2001, 2002. So now you can understand why it's incumbent upon the colleges to try to generate that revenue, because we still continue to provide services, instruction, and support services to our students. So what is our total budget? I talked about revenue, and those revenue sources are the ones that fund the $132.3 million budget that you see in front of us. I'm not going to go over the specifics because I would need another hour, but certainly want to focus on what makes up the majority of our budget. All of you, faculty and staff, make up about 77% of our budget, and if that is combined with benefits. And the benefits make up about $10 million of our budget. This is mostly health insurance. Over the years, we have been reduced in funding for benefits, and so we're having to absorb the cost because we still have to provide those benefits for all of you. That's certainly very deserving of that. One of the things that I talked about, the budget development process, again, this year was no exception. In the past, we have tried to fund, and we have funded, based on student feedback, additional support services in the respective labs. We have funded additional services for student services, and also in the academic computing labs. That was an absolute priority. In the previous year, we had set aside about $800,000. And so this year was no exception, where we also looked at funding other student success initiatives. And I believe that our new student orientation is going to be a major initiative to certainly make sure that our students understand what it means, coming to El Paso Community College. Audited financial statements. It is so integral of the financial stability. Any finding that are reported by our external auditors can jeopardize our accreditation, can jeopardize our ability to receive federal funds. So when we look at our audits of financial statements over the year, we have a long tenure of successful audits of financial statements with no findings. It is critical to SAC's accreditation, as I mentioned. It is also based on adherence to strong internal controls. And those strong internal controls are very much dependent on your willingness, your ability, your understanding of why we have to have those strong internal controls. Everyone at the college contributes by following college policies and procedures. College policies and procedures are always reviewed by our external auditors and its compliance. Ongoing training for college employees is instrumental to the success also of those audits. Throughout the year, we provide training to our supervisors, the budget heads, to make sure that they understand the importance of following college policies and procedures through the various processes that affect our financial stability. So I talked about financial stability, and hopefully here I've kind of done with the numbers. I may have a few more numbers, but here I'm going to focus on what it takes to be a good pillar of student success. Obviously, all of you. You are our most important asset at El Paso Community College. Dedicated faculty and staff. We cannot move forward without dedicated and competent faculty and staff. And the way that we have addressed that is a major initiative in the administration and financial operation area was through a compensation and classification study. How are you going to retain or recruit and retain faculty and staff? Well, not just benefits, because I know everybody enjoys tremendous benefits package here at El Paso Community College, but also compensation, fair compensation, based on a system that rewards its employees according to the job that they do. So when we look at the classification and compensation study objectives, when the Board of Trustees requested the study and authorized the study, this is what we had in mind: to review EPCC's compensation system, to evaluate EPCC classification plan, to evaluate external equity with market surveys, to review the job description, and determine Fair Labor Standard Act status. Finally, to develop recommendations for continued compensation administration. So with the board's approval of Evergreen Solution, we kicked off that study last September, almost a year ago. And Evergreen Solution, during that time period, conducted on-site orientation and group discussion with stakeholders. So all of you were stakeholders. The study was meant to reach both faculty and staff. For faculty, it was really more a compensation study versus a classification study, because all of you are classified as faculty, whereas staff, there's such a variety of job descriptions that certainly that needed to be reviewed on a more detailed basis. Now, in October of 2014, Evergreen Solution gave an update, or at least gave a presentation to the Board of Trustees regarding the study, and so far what the feedback was from the staff. So additional milestone, where are we at on the study? I think that's on everybody's mind. And just to kind of give you a few of the milestones, because this study actually was something that had to be done in a lot of detail, required a lot of effort on the part of the various stakeholders, required a lot of information, data from human resources. And so there was one task that was very important on the staff side was to complete the job assessment tool. This is a way for Evergreen Solution to understand what each person, each staff member did in their current job. In December, January timeframe, there was a supervisory review of JATS, the job assessment tool. And then in April of 2015, the salary market survey was, for faculty and staff, was completed. And so the results of that survey yielded some actually interesting data. For the staff, when we looked at the staff salary tables, those were about 7.6% below the average minimum salary, market minimum. And they were about 2% above the average market midpoint. So therefore, we needed to kind of work on, obviously, those salaries that are between, they were below minimum and at midpoint. For the faculty table, those tables were about 4.3% below the average market minimum and 14.8% above the average market. So when I talk about the faculty compensation plan, you'll understand how we were trying to remedy that. So in June of 2015, Evergreen presented to the Board of Trustees again on the study solutions and any related cost. Obviously, starting a new budget year, it was important to find out how much is this study going to cost and what is it that we are able to afford. So obviously, that made a lot of, in terms of, it helped us understand what is it we needed to set aside in the budget, whatever we could afford. So the recommendations from Evergreen Solution at the board meeting in June was to revise job description that was based on feedback provided by the employees and the supervisors, adjust the current faculty plan by removing the lowest two steps, since the market said that our tables were 4.6% below the average market minimum, then it made sense for us to just remove those first two steps. We also looking at adjusting the current staff salary tables to reflect the market, and the across-the-board recommendation by Evergreen Solution was to provide a 2% cost of living adjustment for all full-time faculty and staff. And the last component of the study is to implement a 40-year parity plan to place faculty and staff on respective pay plans. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So in July, when we had our budget workshop, we made a recommendation based on the recommended solution by Evergreen, and that what we knew that we could afford about $2.6 million. Recall that we had a very challenging budget year with a decrease in state funding and a modest tuition increase. We need to be very reasonable in terms of what we could afford, at least when we looked at maybe the first phase of the study. So the board actually approved that plan to fund $2.6 million. One of it is implemented as of September the 1st, which is your 2% salary increase for cost of living adjustment for full-time and part-time faculty. And then the 40-year parity component of the study is still under review. It involves quite a few extricate calculations, and certainly I would not have enough of this afternoon to explain all of this to you. That's why we are counting on Evergreen Solutions, who's coming over on the 16th of September, not only to present to the board, but to also conduct sessions to explain what that plan is, how they arrived at that plan, and how they're going, and take your questions, because obviously that is very important to get feedback from faculty and staff. So the proposed faculty pay plan involves a current step salary schedule that is improved by removing the first two steps to match market and improve recruitment. The faculty is to be placed on a new step schedule based on tenure with EPCC by comparing current salary with the 40-year tenure parity salary. Again, this is going to be a calculated salary that's going to be based on where you actually fare with the market. And so those calculations, again, are still under review. For the proposed staff pay plan, we are proposing to adjust the current salary ranges and classification for market changes. The staff is to be placed on the new ranges based on a 40-year tenure parity salary calculated for their total years of service and also their years in the current classification. The parity salary is calculated at first quartile, not to exceed midpoint of salary range, since this is where pretty much the market says where we're at. Therefore, the midpoint has been the maximum salary range that we would be adjusting those salary ranges. And a calculation of the 40-year parity salary is still under review. So what are the next steps? So, okay, you've said quite a bit here, and so what happens next? Well, as I mentioned, September 16th, Evergreen Solutions will be presented to the Board of Trustees, and they will also be conducting information session to all faculty and staff by Evergreen Solution. My staff will be basically coordinating those sessions, contacting the various campuses for making sure that we have the space to accommodate those sessions. So we're certainly working on that, and you will be receiving information very soon on when. We're talking about September 16th, 17th, and 18th. We're trying to reach out to everyone. We know that faculty is mostly available in the afternoon, so there will be sessions conducted in the afternoon to accommodate all faculty. So the other step is to complete our review of staff classification. We're talking about over 700 full-time employees. And it is very important that we have accurate data. It's a lot of information to absorb, a lot of information to review, but we want to make sure that whatever Evergreen Solution has put together also makes sense. And so it is incumbent upon us to audit that information. Complete the review of calculation for the 40-year tenure parity for faculty and staff. Again, complicated calculation that need a lot of explanation, and so we want to make sure that we truly understand what Evergreen is proposing. Then we want to create a final implementation plan. So once everything is all said and done about the classification and compensation study, how do we move forward with that plan? How do we then look up at the future years and how we're going to continue? What are the solutions to address compensation in the future? And then we're going to finalize FLSA review and job description. So this pretty much concludes or kind of wraps up the section on dedicated faculty and staff. Again, you are a pillar of student success, and certainly our way of demonstrating that is to make sure that we do have a fair compensation and classification system. And then certainly, not last, but want to talk about adaptive facilities and what are the different initiatives that we have conducted in the last year and a half or so to make sure that we are creating a vision that we are creating a vision for year 2025. First, I'd like to give you quick statistics. I'm hoping this is the last set of numbers that I have on my presentation, but we have 5 campuses, major campuses that are pretty much dispersed throughout El Paso and to serve our student community. We have the Administrative Service Center and the Career Training Center. We're talking here about 1.7 million square feet that has to be managed, maintained, reviewed. And we're talking here about 39,000, a little bit over 39,000 square feet per physical plant FTE. So whenever you run into somebody from physical plant, please show them some appreciation. We know that there's some improvement to be done throughout our facilities. We do have aging facilities, but at the same time, they're certainly doing their best to make sure to accommodate the different maintenance issues that do come up during the year. So certainly show your appreciation to them whenever you run into them. Campus master plan, this is the way that we're going to address an adaptive facilities throughout El Paso Community College facilities. So creating a vision for year 2025, that was the purpose of the campus master plan. How do we address the growth in El Paso, and how do we also address any improvements that need to be made through our aging campuses, and how do we address state-of-the-art technology to facilitate student learning? So the main goals of the campus master plan was to improve accessibility and image, to enhance academic facilities for improved learning, to create common spaces for student gathering, improve access to student services, identify deferred maintenance needs. And we certainly need to address those needs if we want our facilities to function the way they should function. And we need to also encourage sustainability through for the years to come. So the campus master plan milestones, back in 2013, we had an RFQ that was issued for the most qualified firm to develop the master plan. And the awarded firm would also design the Fort Bliss campus. Okay, in February of 2014, we did award the contract to actually two firms who submitted a joint response, the Smith Group and Mijares Mora. And the Smith Group is based in Detroit with offices throughout the country, and Mijares Mora is based in El Paso. The development of the master plan, which by the way was led by Ruben Gallardo and assisted by Rick Lobato, our director of physical plant, involved a quite an extensive process. So each campus was physically surveyed by the architects and their contracted engineers. And it was a 10,000-foot view. We want to make sure that we address parking, we address signage, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing system, and for sure technology, to make sure that we do have the state-of-the-art technology here at El Paso Community College through 2025. So the way that we solicited stakeholders' input is we held a variety of forums, public forums that were actually during the day at each campus, but sometimes also in the evening to solicit input from the community. And so all of our students, faculty, staff, and Board of Trustees were involved during that very initial study. So on the milestones, and I'm sorry, I've kind of lost my spot here. Okay, we talked about the different meetings that we held. And now the assessment of existing facility is complete, and this has to include the IT infrastructure, use of the internet, the room and the lab usage, and mechanical systems. Now at this point, the Smith Group has already presented to the Board of Trustees on proposed solutions and proposed alternatives for each campus. The 98% complete plan was presented to them on July the 30th. All the findings were identified in the report, and the price tag is what made the newspaper in terms of what is it, how much money are we talking about here to look to phase one, $255 million, and phase two, which is actually beyond 2025 at $371 million. So what are the next steps? Next steps is we're in the process actually of programming for the Fort Bliss campus. And once that programming is complete and we have identified all the different programs that need to be located on the Fort Bliss campus, all the different services that need to be there to accommodate our student population, and the Fort Bliss residents and the Fort Bliss soldiers. Will be in a design phase very shortly once that programming is complete. And of course, another big part of that master plan is to develop implementation approach and, of course, funding strategies and how we're going to fund $255 million if we go with that approach. So with that, that concludes my presentation. I certainly want to thank all of you for being here, faculty and staff. I would be remiss if I did not thank my senior administrative associate, Sandy McHale, for helping me over the weekend to complete this presentation. And I certainly want to thank, of course, all the staff in administration and financial operation for doing a great job along with you all. So thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Josette. Before we go any further, I want to recognize our hosts for today, Deans Evler and Webb, that hosted here at Trans Mountain. And throughout the district, you've got different cabinet members that are hosting. And also want to recognize our media service people. I know it was a little stressful to get started, so I really appreciate all that they've done. So and now, for our annual college address, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. William Serrata, President of El Paso Community College, who will give us this annual State of the College.
Well, I guess I know I'm vertically challenged, but I don't know if I need that much of a lift. 1, 2, 3. Oh, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I certainly want to thank our MC, Vice President Linda Gonzalez-Hengson, for doing a great job of emceeing this. Ms. Shaughnessy, our Interim Vice President for Finance and Administrative Services, thank you so much for providing an overview of some of the major topics that we're looking at this respective year. So thank you so much for your leadership. VP Smith, the campus deans, Dr. Hiron and her team for making today happen. That's Nancy Gomez and Media Services, Marco Fernandez and the networking and web team, Mr. Ebert and EPCC TV, the Faculty Development Office. All of these, it takes a lot to get something like this function to go forward. So Joel Dermos, Ruth Vise, Janine Rudnick, Celeste Favela, Anna Resendez. Mr. Townsend, thank you so much for allowing us to use the Forum Theater. You and your team, we certainly appreciate that. And I do bring greetings to all of the other respective campuses. You know, the Valle Verde campus, the Rio Grande campus, Northwest, Mission del Paso, and of course the ASC. Dean Eveler, I too, and Dean Webb, I too, thank you for hosting us this afternoon, for allowing us to have this out of this prospective campus. We are broadcasting to each of the areas and to all of our sites. There may be some folks that are watching, streaming this live on your PC. I hope the sound is working on your PC. It is on each of our respective campuses. As I begin going forward, let me just say that Rachel Viramontes is the PowerPoint master, and so anything that you see in the PowerPoint that you appreciate, it really is a tribute to Rachel and the great work that she does. And so let's begin with what we're here for today. You know, I do want to do a welcome and give you an update of where we are at the institution, as well as where we're headed. And with that, let us first celebrate the many achievements that we have at this institution. The institution is as strong as each and every one of you is at this institution. Your commitment to student success is second to none. We see the results and the accolades that we receive at this institution is because of the dedication of each and every one of you here at Trans Mountain at each of the respective campuses and centers throughout the district. So let's talk a little bit about the major achievements. These are just some of the achievements that we had this year. Obviously, we are a military-friendly institution. I will touch on some of the veteran and active duty as well as their dependent enrollment in just a bit. You see several of those, top military institution. You also see that we're in Achieving the Dream Leader College. The HEED award, don't tell anyone at HEED, but my understanding is we've received the award again. So this is again a tribute to the many folks who go forward and recognize the great efforts here. And then, of course, somewhat of the crowning achievement was being named a finalist for the Aspen Prize. You all know, and I know you all think that this is the best institution. I believe that as well. And so while we were a finalist, we do have work to do so that we can ultimately win the prize. But we are rated as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. Quite an achievement for each and every one of us. These rankings as well are somewhat delayed, and we're waiting for Community College Week. They said that they would be publishing it on August the 31st. I've checked the website every day. Last I checked today is September the 8th. It's still not published, but as of the 2014 data, we were ranked first amongst nearly 1,200 community colleges by both Hispanic Outlook as well as Community College Week. And we expect for that ranking to continue. In fact, we saw our number of degrees and certificates awarded go up again this year, and that's a tribute again to everyone here, Vice President Gonzalez and her team for implementing automated graduation. All great work. Our nursing program, locally, you all know that there have been some issues with nursing programs in our region. We are very fortunate that that has not been our issue. And this is a tribute to Dean Meager and her team. The nursing program has been reaffirmed through the fall of 2020. So that's nice to know that for the next 5 years, we're fully reaffirmed in our nursing program. We look forward to continuing that. As you see, Rachel, that prevents me from having to take any of those pills that has my name on it. I noticed that. CESI, we've really focused on CESI, the Community College Survey of Student Engagement. And the reason we have is because these 5 benchmarks that have been normed nationally, and you now have over approximately 600 community colleges that participate in the CESI survey. We have really used this as a benchmark to see where we are and how we rate against the rest of the community colleges. And you see that each of the 5 benchmarks increased this year. Again, a real tribute to our faculty, our staff, our administrators at the institution. Each one of those, we did have some slight declines in 14, and we've seen that we've had a huge increase in 15 in each of the 5 respective CESI benchmarks, and that is great news. Our graduation rate. I can sit with anyone, and actually the foremost expert, Dr. Natalicia, when she talks about graduation rates, I used her presentation when I was still living in South Texas. First time, full time in a fall semester. That's roughly a very small number for us. I used to talk about the invisible 86%, because 86% of the students that crossed the stage did not count towards our graduation rate. And yet it is a measure that will continue to be utilized. And so we're going to focus on both the raw number of graduates, but also on our graduation rate. And again, a tribute to each of you that our graduation rate increased 2.6 percentage points from fiscal year 10 to fiscal year 11. Remember, they're looking at a 3-year window. And so the coordinating board data is always about, a year behind, and so this is the most recent almanac, the 2015 almanac, that showed our increase of 2.6. Now that's when enrollment was falling, stabilizing, and even falling. As Vice President Gonzalez-Hengson mentioned, we're very pleased that we've turned that trend as well. And we're not quite finished with fall processing, but we're showing that enrollment is currently up about 600 students, which is a little over a 2% increase from fall to fall. We're very pleased with that and creating that college-going culture during a somewhat robust economy. Some other benchmarks that are really important. And so, again, those same cohorts, if you look at the cohorts that entered in the fall of 10 and then in the fall of 11, our average time to associate's degree has fallen from 4.6 years to 4.4. Again, this is before the coordinating board rules were in place for the 60-hour rule for the associate's degree. So this is, again, a real commitment on behalf of our faculty, staff, our counselors and advisors, ensuring that students are getting good academic counseling to follow their degree plan. In addition, we saw the number of hours to an associate's degree fall from 96 to 90. And the closer we get that to 60, the better. And that's better for our students as well. So many kudos for those great accomplishments as well. Our military. We are a very large military contingent in our community, very proud to serve our veterans, our men and women in uniform, and we continue to see that number continues to rise. As you can see, we're up to just under 2,500 military, either family members, actual veterans, or active duty military in our community. There's a reason that we're looking at going forward with a campus at the Fort Bliss military installation. And so we expect these numbers to continue to rise, and we're proud that they have risen. Our non-credit enrollment. So our credit enrollment is back up. We're very pleased with that. Our non-credit enrollment continues to rise as well, serving just under 6,400 students this past spring versus 6,200 the previous spring. I know that I did this at town halls, but this is the entire college, and so we obviously want to recognize our 2015 NISOT awardees, and you see them on the screen right now. Very proud of the faculty and staff at our institution that continues to make our institution a great place for the students that we're privileged to serve. In addition to our faculty and staff awards, then we obviously have our adjunct faculty achievement awards. One of your very own here at Trans Mountain, Patricia Barrientos, was one of the adjunct 2015 award winners, one from Rio Grande you see, and then we also have one from Valle Verde. Our forensics team. Mr. Townsend, you and your team continue to show, as we discussed before this, that this is a college of choice. This is an institution that produces national champions, and we see it based on the forensic team's success. You see the incredible awards that they have garnered. You're looking at 4 years running. These are fantastic awards competing against other community colleges and universities throughout the nation. Incredibly proud of the students that we have, the talent that you and your team are able to cultivate continues to show that students will rise to the expectations that you set for them. This is a clear indication of engagement, of high expectations for our students and ensuring that we serve them well. So well done. We're very proud of your achievements. We look forward to continuing those achievements as well. Grants. This was an area that we had not seen, in particular in Skills Development Fund. Our region hadn't seen a skills development fund in about 2 years. And so we made a concerted effort to utilize those dollars that are out of Austin to come to El Paso and provide for our skilled workforce, to provide that training, to increase those skills so that they're able to get not into minimum wage jobs, but into living wage jobs. And you see that we're now from April 2014, to now, we're at about $1.1 million of grants from Texas Workforce Commission, primarily looking at partnering with business and industry to upgrade the skills or to create new jobs for new employees. And so we're certainly excited about that. VP Smith, Kathy Lopez, and their teams, well done. We look forward to increasing those as well. Dr. Stroud, thank you for all that you've done on increasing the community outreach with regards to blood donations. And you do it all without me, because the last time I donated blood, I fainted. And so I won't be donating anytime soon, and I'm O positive, so you don't need mine. It's the general, it's the biggest donor that's out there. But we're very proud of our faculty and staff that are braver than I and do give their blood on a regular basis. Our community needs that. It's important for us to continue that and move forward. Vice President Shaughnessy, Mr. Flores, Ms. Diaz, and their team, this is 19 years in a row that they have received the Excellence in Financial Reporting. No pressure, but 20 is a nice round number, so we expect that one to be coming soon. You've set the expectation now, but well done. There's so much pride that goes into the work, and again, it shows our commitment to excellence at our respective institution. Pam Payne, don't congratulate her because she's ill right now, so I don't want any of y'all to get sick. But Pam Payne is the ACCT Western Regional Professional Board Staff Member of the Year. Very excited for Pam to receive that award. She is the Western Region winner, and we'll find out in about a month if she's the national winner. And to deal with 8 presidents, me being the 8th, and about 20 trustees, you absolutely deserve at least the Western region, if not the national award. So we're certainly excited about that. Congratulations, Pam. We look forward to hearing next month if you receive the national award. Now, here's another one. So, Vice President Steve Smith, congratulations for being selected as the National Council of Instructional Administrators Chief Academic Officer 2015 Emerging Leader Award. Very well done. Very excited about this award. This is brand new. And actually, Mr. Smith, I have your award right here. So you're seeing it right there. Maybe, perhaps you will receive it from me shortly. But again, a tribute to the kind of talent that we have at El Paso Community College. You can thank your deans for nominating you. Dr. Penley, Dr. Mitchell, and others nominated you for this prestigious award, and rightfully so. From a national selection, you were selected as the Emerging Leader Award. Well done. We're certainly excited about that as well. Now let's start to focus on what we're doing with dual credit, some celebratory items and dual credit as well. And so SACS COC, the Southern Association for Colleges and Schools, Commission on Colleges, they are the standard of rigor, and they're the standard of, do we have the integrity in our respective programs? They came in the spring to look at our dual credit programs. They looked at 23 off-campus programs that we provide instruction for that have gotten up to the 50% benchmark. They visited 12, and it was, what kind of SACS COC visit do you want to have? You want to have a visit where you have no recommendations. And we had no recommendations. So congratulations to Vice President Candelas, to Mary Beth Hahn, Vice President Smith, Dean Mathis, Sue Selk, Vice President Gonzalez-Hengson, Letty Guerra, and all of Student Services. And in particular, our deans and program coordinators, you ensure the integrity and the rigor of these programs. Now, I am a huge fan of dual credit with rigor when it meets our expectations. We will never lower the bar. The rigor is too important, and SAC saw that. They came away with no recommendations. We're very excited about that. We continue to see the fruits of our labor with regards to dual credit, and you'll see this is academic year. But when we started the program approximately in 2002 with 93 students, now serving well over 3,600 students, almost a 4,000% increase. Let me let you know right now, based on how hard Student Services as well as instruction has been working on with our partners, this number is going to surge well past 4,000 this fall. And again, it's creating that college-going culture while they're still in high school, making sure that these students realize that they can be college students and that they end up matriculating here. The data is very clear that these students outperform any other segment of our student body, and that we receive more than half of these students upon graduation. So we're looking forward to continuing that respective initiative. Now let's talk a little bit about our early college high schools as well. And we have, by far, from my perspective, the most premier early college high schools in the nation. You know, when we were looking at doing early college high schools in South Texas, we came here because we were told. Alma Garcia, who just is about to retire from Educate Texas, said, if you want to do it and do it well, you need to go to El Paso and see how they're doing it. And then we came here. We now have 8 incredibly successful early college high schools. We are taking these in a very measured approach. House Bill 505 essentially eliminated restrictions for dual credit in early college high school, but we're working with our K-12 partners to ensure that we are very strategic, that we ensure the rigor and integrity of every single early college high school. And there's a reason. We want to make sure that these numbers continue to be where they should be. And what you'll see is we're now planning a ninth with Montwood, with Socorro Independent School District in Montwood. It'll be a school within a school model, and so it'll be, again, starting with 100 students. We're planning it now to start it in the fall of 2016. As you see, we continue to move these forward in a very strategic, methodical method. We're not just opening the floodgates. We're working with our partners to make sure we do it and do it well. And again, we see this. We see that almost 12,000, now that's a duplicated count, but almost 12,000 students over the last, since 2006, have participated in our early college high school programs. These students go on to achieve amazing things, which you'll see briefly as I go forward. In addition, you see that they are now accounting for over 10,000 early college high school dual credit students. Getting them enrolled, you know, where you see almost 2,000 this fall that are enrolled in early college high school. We expect that number to exceed 2,000. Getting them enrolled isn't the key for us with early college high school. We're looking at getting them to complete. And what you see is that we have 73% of our early college high school students graduate with an associate's degree before they graduate from high school. The national average is 52%. We exceed every other early college high school program. We continue to do it and do it very well. You see the number of graduates that we've had over the last 9, almost 10 years now, 1,551 graduates, of which nearly a third are first-generation college students, and we've done better. This is a national phenomenon where we were seeing roughly 2/3 to 70% of our early college high school students being females. And last time I checked, the census data showed that we're about 50-50 in El Paso County. And so we're starting to see that even out, that we're seeing roughly 600. It's still, there's still a spread, but a gap within those. But we're starting to work on that and move forward with that. These students go on to do great things at other institutions, primarily UTEP. The University of Texas at El Paso is so wise to make these students a priority for several reasons. First, they outperform the native student, and the data shows it. Dr. Aguirre, when he was a part of UTEP, would show how important even dual credit, but the early college high school student by far outperforms every other segment. In addition, they have 6 years to get that student their last 2 years for their bachelor's degree. So again, this will increase graduation rates for UTEP as well. We're now looking at just short of 1,000 students being part of that junior class at UTEP, being prior early college high school students, and they continue to achieve great things. Here's an example of those. This is Abigail Munoz, who is a math professor, math teacher at Clint ISD Early College Academy. So think about this full circle. We're looking at within a decade affecting 2 generations. First herself as a student, and then the students that she's now teaching as a very young teacher. She was at Valle Verde Early College High School graduate. She went on to UTEP and earned her BA in math. She was a guest speaker that Alma Garcia facilitated at the National Early College Conference in Dallas. But an example of the talent that we have that we're able to cultivate through our early college high schools. Here's another one. Gabriela Franco. She is a science professor at El Paso Community College. So our former early college high school student graduated from Mission Early College High School in December of 2010, early graduate, went on to UTEP and got her biological sciences graduate degree. And you see her quote of how amazing it was. And let's hear a little bit of what she has to say.
Gabriela Franco graduated from Mission Early College High School, earned her bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Texas at El Paso, and today she works as a science teacher at El Paso Community College.
I wouldn't be where I am today. I would not have my master's at 22 without the early college high school program. So for that, I have always been and I always will be grateful. As soon as I heard that I could earn college credit while I was in high school, and as soon as I heard that I would be getting an associate's degree with my high school diploma, I said I was in. I said, sign me up. And when I was accepted, I was so happy. I actually cried. I got my letter of acceptance, and I was with my mom, and I cried. I was so ecstatic because it was telling me that I had a chance to go to college. I would say if your children are interested in getting an education past high school, they should definitely try the early college high school. The type of student that should attend an early college high school would be a student that's motivated, very self-motivated and determined, and willing to put in the work to get the reward that comes out afterwards. The faculty at the early college high school were really committed to student success. And one example I can think of is I struggled with math. I was in an early college high school, but I wasn't 100% a whiz kid, so I did have some struggles. And my math teacher called my parents and said, you know what, I think Abby needs to come to tutoring. At the early college high school, everyone is of like mind. They're all motivated and determined, and they all have a goal. So you do get swept up in that type of a mentality, and it really pushes you forward to getting your education. The inaugural class is the very first class that was ever there, so I was the second class. And I got to see them and a lot of the struggles that they went through, but I also got to see a lot of the rewards that they got out of everything, that they were able to graduate early, go to UTEP, They were able to be part of a lot of different things. And that was motivational and inspirational to me, is to see my fellow upperclassmen moving on to greater things. I just think it's such a wonderful opportunity. It's amazing that we have it in El Paso. I'm really enthused at how much the program has grown in the short amount of time that it's been around. And it really makes me happy to see how many students are coming out of the program and are able to take advantage of all of the things and things that I didn't get to take advantage of. I just really like to see other success stories. I would say thank you. Just thank you so much for always being there and for showing me that learning doesn't have to be a struggle and it doesn't have to be boring, that learning is exciting and it's going to bring you to bigger and better things. And they were truly my friends, and I really do care about a lot of them. So when I see a lot of my ex-professors from the early college high school, I get really excited and I go and say hello, and then I always say thank you if I can, just because they were such a big part of the experience. And without the teachers to teach us, there would be no program, right? So I would just say thank you, and I'm really grateful for everything that they did.
Pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Pretty amazing to be a college professor at 22. That is absolutely amazing, but it's a tribute to you, the EPCC college faculty and staff that believe in our students and help them achieve what they never thought was possible. So we're certainly excited and we're certainly honored that Professor Franco is one of our faculty members and that she can pay that forward. She can contribute to the students that she now serves in the same fashion that our faculty and staff contributed to her. And those are some of the amazing achievements. But you all know that my background's English, and you know how I'm fond of bodies of water, and always leery that we don't want to be narcissistic. Remember Narcissus? What happened to Narcissus? Any English faculty in the audience? He saw his reflection and fell in love with his reflection, and just stood there for the rest of time, looking at himself in the reflection of water. And that's not what we do at this institution. We celebrate our achievements, and then we determine what's next. What's next? With success comes greater expectations for additional success, and what's next for the future of EPCC? Well, the four areas and the pillars, well done, Vice President Shaughnessy. The pillars of success for me remain the same. We're really looking at those four areas: engagement, partnerships, creating that college-going culture, and completion. But we're going to get much more clear. We're going to be much more clear on what the expectations and goals are at our institution. We've seen great things. We've moved this institution forward. And so let's continue to move our institution forward. And so what do we see? We've increased our SESI benchmarks dramatically from last year to this year. And again, I'm very excited about that. But what's next on those SESI benchmarks, on each of the 5 SESI benchmarks? And what you see is support for learners through active and collaborative learning, student-faculty interaction. You see all of those on, well, those are our averages in teal. And the top performing colleges, or the top 10% of the colleges, are in red. And so let us strive to increase each of these 5 benchmarks to the level of those top 10%. We're a top 10 college. I have no doubt that when we set our minds to increasing this, that we'll move forward. So let's look at these benchmarks, and they will go through, and they will be measured in the spring of 16 once again. And then we will see the results. But let's strive to increase each of those. Within partnerships, what we're seeing is partnerships over time. Let me just say that one will change. The trend in all of higher education is pathways. And we're going to work with our partners to create those seamless pathways from K through 12, through the college, onto the university, or into the workforce, and beyond. And so what we're looking at is this will enhance and take our work with the ISDs as well as with UTEP to the next level. We are applying for the AAC, the American Association of Community College Pathways initial grant. They're going to pick 30 institutions from across the nation, and we were the ones that was invited to apply. The fact that we were invited to apply is a tribute to each of you. It's based on the benchmark of history of success that we've had at this institution. And so we will move forward with this, and this is an enhancement of what we're already doing. I know that we're an initiative-rich institution, but this is an enhancement of what we're looking at. And Pathways will take community colleges for the next decade or so is what we will be focused on to ensure that students have a very structured pathway. Sometimes too many options is too many options. And so we're going to work with students for them to understand that. We're going to continue. It's too important for our region. I know that many of you saw, I believe it was a Bloomberg report, that we led the nation in mass migration away from our city. 8,500 people left the greater El Paso area. Now, we who live here understand that some of it is the downsizing of Fort Bliss. We also understand that Juarez is safer, and so we have some Juarezans that are going back to Juarez, and those are both, one is something we can't control, and the other is a good thing. But we have to make sure that we provide and increase the college going rate so that the business and industry can continue to move to our region. And I know it's somewhat of a chicken and an egg piece. Do you have the skilled workforce, or do you have the jobs already here? Well, we're going to partner with our business and industry, and we're going to continue to make sure we do both. But part of that is increasing the college going rate. And so we're going to focus on increasing enrollment. Now that we finally turned that corner and we reversed the trend of enrollment stagnation or declines, this fall we're going to be up. And we're very excited about that. Let's focus on continuing that to facilitate that college going culture. So we're looking at next fall, not fall of 15, but fall of 16, an overall increase of approximately 3%. Now remember that right now 61% of our high school graduates go to college. That means that's almost 40% of that particular segment. It's the largest segment that don't go anywhere. So that should be an easy lift for us as an institution. You know, we're looking at increasing our first time in college students by 2%, increasing our retention rate by 2%. We don't want to just bring more students in and then them not be successful. We're going to do both. We're going to focus on those areas. And so Dr. Pierce, who leads the enrollment task force, and every member of the enrollment task force, which contains deans, faculty, marketing folks, Start Right committee members, we're going to focus on actually having those benchmarks and how we're going to achieve that. We have a year to work on that. And again, the trend has now been reversed. We're going to see an enrollment increase this fall. Completion. We've done a tremendous job with completion, but we don't rest on our laurels at our institution. And so what we're saying is, let's increase the raw number of graduates by 5%. Okay, that's approximately 220 to be exact, additional graduates. Based on what we've done with automatic graduation, based on what we've now done with decreasing the core, reducing the number of hours in each respective associate's degree to 60 or narrowing those down, this should not be a hard achievement for us. And we'll do this together. In addition, we need to look at increasing. We did it once. We had a 2.6% increase in our graduation rate. So let's do another 2%. When we focus on this, we can get this done. So what am I looking at? Again, I continue to look at those areas. So the 4 benchmarks of EPCC will continue, but the strategies under those 4 pillars will continue to change annually. I'm very happy to say that based on the Board of Trustees Institute, the Vice President's going to the high impact practices. We held a Student Success Summit this past spring. We have really seen a lot of momentum around what I would say 5 strategies with a 6th strategy of data that will inform each of those 5 strategies. And so dual credit expansion is part of that. And again, this is an investment in students. I'm not saying that we're going to always maintain rigor, but we're going to increase dual credit enrollment. We're now looking at about 4,400 students this fall. We're going to hold another dual credit conference in October where we will invite our K through 12 partners to work with our faculty and staff to continuously provide professional development for them to understand what we expect to be in the rigor of those courses. We control those courses. They're college courses. And we will always remain committed to the integrity and the rigor of those courses. And we expect that to continue. New student orientation and front door operations. So this is an area that we will continue to focus. You notice at the bottom, we want our students to be challenged at El Paso Community College in our classrooms, not in our processes. And so we will continue to work on those processes and hone on those. And so Dr. Pierce, Blaine Pravinovich, the Start Right Committee, they're working very much on new student orientation and front door operations. Kudos, Dr. Pierce, for taking EPCC and coming up with similar acronym. She's looking at engaging to creatively engage students in meaningful new student orientation experience that will contribute to them being successful, partnering again with all of our partners across the area, Region 19, the new Apply Texas Force, UTEP, several others to create that vision, that college workshop, collaborating and communicating with our students and looking at that in the Enrollment Services Task Force, looking at that cross-functional teams throughout the college. And then finally, what? Committing to complete. We don't want our students just to come in and say, I'm here to take my basics. You're here to graduate. You're here to graduate and then move forward and start somewhere else and then graduate again. So success breeds success. If you get into a habit of completing something, complete your associate's degree, then you're going to complete your baccalaureate degree. And the data affirms that as well. So we, again, want our students to be challenged at our institution, but in our classrooms. And some we don't control. I give a lot of credit to Mr. Ledma and his team under Vice President Gonzalez for the FAFSA. We lead the state in FAFSA completion, and it's not an easy form. And we don't control the form. The federal government does, Department of Education, but we can control helping students fill that form out. Education 1300. There is no disputing the success of this course and how important it is to facilitating student success. And so we're looking at expansion of this, and you see that it's part of our core curriculum, a huge achievement at our institution. You see that we're looking at expanding it through dual credit and early college high school so they understand. We don't want students waiting until the end to take how to be successful in college course. We want them to take it up front. And so we're now focusing on them doing it within the first 2 semesters, the first preferably, but at least focusing on that. And then we're looking at the Guiding Path to Success, the GPS mini grant. This is a pilot that was launched in June of this summer with presentations conducted by EPC students for EPCC students. You see this often, that our students don't want to hear from us all the time. Sometimes they get so much more when they hear from a colleague of theirs, a former high school classmate that's a year ahead of them. You saw from our early college high school student when she said she was in the 2nd class of mission and she learned from the 1st class. And so what we're looking at is it's designed to guide, mentor, and provide the skills taught in Education 1300 to students that are in our Reading 0308 course. And so we're looking at those kinds of collaborations between our different areas of instruction at the institution so that we can facilitate success for these particular students. Mr. Smith and the deans, our Education 1300 faculty, many kudos for moving that particular area forward. Early alert expansion. This is something that we're going to expand on. We piloted this in the spring of 2015. We've seen promising results from this particular area, and we're going to continue to move this forward. What we do is we utilize a case management approach to work with these students. Our advisors conduct that under the leadership of our counselor, Sandra Lujan, as well as other counselors and advisors. We started this at the Valle Verde campus. We see promising results, and so we're going to expand this throughout the rest of the district and move that forward so that we catch a student who is at risk before we lose them, so that we catch them while we still have them and then implement a process for them to be successful. Our dashboard expansion. Dr. Iron, Mr. Fernandez, Abraham, Hubal, VP Gonzalez, and the student success leaders are really looking at utilizing data, and we always understand there's a face behind every single data point, but utilizing data to help us get better. And so what we're looking at is dashboards for financial aid, for admissions, as well as for the academic year enrollment. so that we can see what's our annual enrollment, how many students are we losing, how do we change that. So kudos for utilization of the data and for our IT team making that possible. We're moving forward with Civitas. Illum is up and running. Illum is a platform that gives us predictive analytics on what our retention rates would be based on different segments of our student population. In addition to Illum being up and running, Inspires for Advisors is now up and running. And so our counselors and advisors will utilize Inspire, and the training is just beginning this fall. We're doing a pilot this semester. We'll expand that training to others so that we can move forward. And the most important piece of Civitas, the reason that we were so interested in Civitas was Degree Map. Again, so that students would see a pathway to getting their degree, and it would let them know when they're outside of that pathway. And that one we're looking at, it's in progress now. We expect that one by the end of this academic year to be up and running. Those were the three primary applications out of Civitas Learning that we're looking forward to moving at this institution, to launching and helping students be successful. Again, Abraham Hubal and Janine Rudnick will play key roles and have played key roles in both the implementation and then the training of our faculty as well as our staff. So some quick updates. So some updates and developments at the institution. You heard Vice President Shaughnessy speak to the master plan. So the master plan, let's talk a little bit about the Fort Bliss campus. So it is underway. The design phase is underway right now. We anticipate opening that campus in the fall of 2018. Now, we wanted to open yesterday. We anticipated opening in the fall of 2018. And so we're moving forward. We expect the design phase to take about, and you see some of the areas that are being designed into that respective campus. We expect that to take about 10 months, 10 to 12 months. Then we start breaking ground. And we look forward to getting that campus up and running. It will be our 6th full campus. And we're excited about providing additional services to that part of the city, as well as primarily to our men and women in uniform and their dependents. The new Mathways project. Math continues to be one of the biggest stumbling blocks for our students, despite the passion that we see from professors like Yvette Chuka, who do a tremendous job of helping our students, of loving math and learning to understand and love math. The new Mathways project is going to continue to expand. Dean Webb, Lucy Michael, and others have done a tremendous job of leading this effort. It is a statewide movement. We're one of the original 9 partners in the development of the pilot, but all 50 community colleges will be looking at the new Mathways project. We're also working with our articulation committees with our partners at UTEP, because the last thing we want is for a student to take a new Mathways course and then be told it doesn't transfer. So we will ensure that we work with our counterparts at UTEP so that these courses transfer and so that students can get through that math piece. The QEP and the Tejano Passport. Dr. Quiroz and our QEB plan, I know that Sachs felt like it just happened, but we're getting ready to launch and begin our 5-year report. So as quickly as that went by, we're going to be moving forward, and the QEP will be a major piece of that respective area. What we're looking at is encouraging and document community engagement and volunteerism by our students, our faculty, and staff as part of our QEP. And so this will allow us to do that. It'll allow us to facilitate that respective process. So you've seen this a whole lot. You've seen it's coming, right? So let me introduce the MyEPCC. And I'll float through these. There you go. You see Connect, Engage, Succeed. And what we're looking at is myepcc.edu. This is our IT one-stop shop, heading towards a single sign-on for our faculty, our staff, and our students. I have like 17 passwords and I forget them myself. I know each of you all does too. And which platform am I on? And how many variations, don't try to hack me. How many variations do I have of a similar password? But we're looking at providing that ease. We have so many systems that we've become tremendously reliant on, as you've seen today. And so we have to make sure that we make this as easy as possible. And so IT will be implementing this, are deploying this in the next week as phase 1. And so this is what's coming. We're trying to make it easier. And kudos again to Marco Hernandez, Abraham Hubal, all of their teams for moving this particular area forward. As you saw, the Tejano Passport application is an example of the many apps that will be powered by my EPCC platform. And what we ask is, we ask for everyone to be patient, because when we launch a new tool, sometimes we have hiccups, and we learn from those hiccups and we move forward. But they will be working and moving forward, and they'll work on mitigating any items that come up on that platform. But that's a new platform for us to heading towards a single sign-on for all of the respective areas that we touch. Let's thank Dr. Uxer. Dr. Uxer was such an incredible role model for our community. He's a war hero. He was a longtime educator, a superintendent. He ran Region 19 for 25 years and served on our board of trustees since the 90s. Many, many years. And so he will always have a special part in the EPCC family's heart for his dedication to our institution and all the students that benefited from the vision that he had for our institution. And so we thank Dr. Uxer for his many years of tremendous service, and we welcome Mr. John Uxer Jr., who is now the newest member of our Board of Trustees. He was sworn in August. He will run through all the way through April up until the May of 2017 election. He has degrees in mechanical engineering and educational administration. He's got a bachelor's degree in mechanical science. He was a faculty member. He's taught adjunct both at the university as well as the college. He's been a teacher in K through 12, a successful business person in our community. So we certainly look forward to Mr. Uxer Jr. And when I see his face, I see his dad. He looks so much like Dr. Uxer, and doing tremendous things for our institution and providing that vision that we have. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, you don't hear it nearly enough. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we certainly thank you for everything that you do at our institution to make it a top 10 community college in the nation. It is because of your dedication, your commitment, and your passion to our institution and to facilitating success for the students that we're privileged to serve that we are where we are. I look forward to amazing things. I do have some minor announcements. Mark your calendars. This was a test. We'll see how well the test went. In the spring, February the 9th, this is for staff only. Faculty, your classes will be in session, but we'll have Professional Development Day, Spring 16, on Tuesday, February the 9th. All classes, again, will be in session. Remember that Professional Development Day is not a one-day activity. We look at trying to provide as many professional development opportunities throughout the year. Each of the respective divisions held professional development activities this morning. Then they hold more throughout the year, and we'll continue to do this. We want to make sure that we do it and do it well. A couple of other things that you'll see up there. I still have a little bit more hair than that gentleman has, just barely. But there you go. We do thank you for what you do. Again, Rachel is amazing. We do wish you an incredible fall 2015 semester. And you should be proud of the institution that you've created. We're very proud of you. We're proud of what we've done together. And ultimately, you saw those students in the front. That's what we're trying to do. It's the same students in cap and gowns. We're trying to make sure that we facilitate success. Whoever put the step up here, I always wanted to be 6'2". I guess today I am. So I certainly appreciate everything that you do. Thank you all so much. Have a great semester.
Thank you, Dr. Serrata. Thank you for reminding us of so much that we should be proud of as a family, as an institution, and for reminding us that there is still a lot to do. So best of luck to everyone this semester, this coming year, and thank you for your attendance here and for those of you out at our different sites. So have a good afternoon.